It's my
Hello there guys, and today we're going to play a game, one of my all-time favourite franchises, The Witcher Tales Thronebreaker. Now I've saw some gameplay of this, and the way they do combat is quite unique because they use the inbuilt game system of Gwent, which, as you know, there's been a Gwent game, it kind of flopped, and they did some work on it, sort of went alright, but wasn't as good as the one that was actually in The Witcher 3. But from what I've saw of this, they've meant to deeply improved in it. So we're going to jump into this and see how it goes. Advanced, hardcore for players seeking a mod shed, and Bonebreaker. From what I've saw, people have said that the battle bot hardened isn't. It's sort of like easy, normal. You're buggered. You're gonna get your ass handed to you, bent over a desk and slapped. So let's go for battle hardened. And then obviously during the game, if it's too hard, just turn it down a little bit. Go on to simpler mode.
The year 1267. War hung in the air, its scent palpable. The mighty empire of Nilfgaard stood poised, greedily eyeing the northern realms just across the Yaruga. In light of the threat, the realm's sovereigns met in summit. They made declarations, pledged fraternal assistance, forged alliances, and then, in good spirits, dispersed. Among them, Meve, Queen of the Twin Realms Lyria and Rivia. Know the name? Heard her beauty extolled? Justly so. Remarkable she was. Not for her graceful exterior, but for her persistence and courage. Where was I? As the Queen and her retinue neared her capital, Count Caldwell appeared. In Meve's absence, the Count was to have helped her son, the youthful Prince Willem, run the Twin Kingdoms. Caldwell had clearly ridden hard. Drops of perspiration dangled from his whiskers, his neck red and chafed from a ruff, starched stiff.
Right then, this looks quite good. Obviously that's Queen Meve, and that's clearly, I don't know, probably her assistant. And who's been riding a bit hard? I don't see no sweat on that face. I should know I'm a rider.
Hail, Your Majesty. Delighted to see you in good health. The summit, it ended fruitfully, I hope?
Yes, at its end, letters were exchanged, documents signed. Paper. Time will tell of what value. That will suffice as cordialities go, Caldwell. Tell me what's happened, for I sincerely doubt sheer longing prompted you to ride out.
Indeed, Your Grace. Another circumstance inspired me to do so. The strays of Sparla, the bandits, I was to tend to during Your Grace's absence. The situation's gotten out of hand, I fear.
Steady, Caldwell. Come now. Deep breath. All right, speak. What has happened? Be precise.
As Your Grace ordained, I set out and was nipping at the bandits' tails for long. We pursued for weeks, until scouts returned, having sighted the strays' camp in the forest near Lokeren. We waited for nightfall to surprise them as they slept. Alas, it proved a ruse. We found the tents empty, straw-stuffed dummies round the fire. Soon, we learned that as we waited for the sunset, the strays had snuck away, rounded our positions and ridden to Hawksburn.
I beg your pardon, my lord. The tax collectors. That is where they station.
Reynard sort of reminds me of the guy from Game of Thrones. He's got the same house banner almost as well. I think it's Baratheon.
So the gold? All All of it?
For long as he doesn't go burning kids, we're alright.
It's stolen, Your Grace, but I shall do all in my power to recover it. This I vow, if it be Your Grace's wish.
Do all of his powers over it. He could barely deal with them when they were just random rebels.
After weeks in the saddle, Your Grace's wishes are modest. A hot bath and a night's sleep in her own bed. Yet, they shall have to wait. I must look personally to this matter. Your force, Caldwell, I will now command. You... send a herald to Hawksburn. They must prepare for the Queen's arrival. Air the rooms, dust off the porcelain. Make certain they do it. Do you see now, Reynard? I believe I foretold it would be thus. My son wasn't ready in the least to rule an entire country.
I confess, Prince Willem has much to learn yet.
Yes. And very little time.
Oh, I like the look of this. It's quite a good, beautifully designed game. So I'm going off from what I saw. That there is your whole army's sort of moral compass. Whether or not what you do they think's good or what you do they think's bad. And depending on that symbol will change. Welcome to Thronebreaker tutorial. Before embarking on your adventure, you should get acquainted with the basics of the game mechanics. When you control your character, the following cobblestone road to reach the next stage of the adventure. You will expand your armies through game, but to do so you must collect the following resources of the game: gold, wood and recruits. So I'm guessing that's got to be recruits. Obviously that's wood and that's gold. So I'm guessing because you play by the Gwent cards, and they sort of had like this lab system where you had certain resources in this and some of the other to create a said card. So like if you wanted arch cards, you'd like wood and something else to get that arch card. While on the road you can find useful items and even new companions who will support you in battle. So they're basically just do everything. So look, that's wood.
Oh, thought it were bandits riding in.
Get them recruits. My army needs people.
Look, they stretched her over a fire till she told them where she buried her gold.
No, they don't seem very friendly. Your Majesty, it seems someone fell an old oak, which now blocks the road. Unfortunately, our wagons cannot go around it. How do you wish to proceed? Have the loggers sort the material. Our soldiers should conserve their strength. Issue access to the soldiers and put them to work. So 25 to 50 wood. See, just at the moment, just because we don't really need the recruits, we might as well just say get them to do some work. It's not really going to affect us that badly.
Count Caldwell rode at the column's head, scanning its flanks with a wary eye that, despite his advanced age, proved very sharp indeed.
Your Majesty! Bandits! There! At the tree line!
The Count's footmen, unaccustomed to escorting their queen, sought to shield her with their bodies and assumed a tight formation to do so. They were promptly knocked aside as Meve charged headlong at the bandits.
So she's not afraid to go and
brandishing her
kick some
blade and
arse.
bellowing a ferocious cry.
Type of queen that you need.
Charge!
Right guys, so this is our first battle then, against a group of strays of Sparla. kind of sound like Straight to Sparta. This is the battlefield. You will play your cards on the bottom half and your opponent will play on the top. Using the player one of the two rows, melee or range. So yeah, this is sort of like the card game went in The Witcher, but instead of 2 rows it was 3 in The Witcher. You had one for your melee, one for your ranged, and one for your artillery. It seems like they simplified it down and just went one for range, one for up front and kicking some ass.
The white of an eye from half a league away.
To attack the Queen? An outrage!
The strength of each unit you play adds to your army's total strength. The player whose army has the most strength points at the end of the game will win the round. So basically whoever's got the highest attack at the end. It's sort of like Yu-Gi-Oh! Some units have armour. Armour absorbs a certain amount of damage dealt to the unit.
Your Grace, the men await. You must lead to begin the attack.
Right, some units also have effects as well from what I can see. Yeah, so most cards have abilities of some kind. To learn more about them, simply just hover over and read the short description. This has boost self by loyalty by 5. Deploy an enemy by the number... Damage an enemy by the number of cards on this row, including self. So reach 2, so if it was back here it would reach there, and if it was up the front it would reach all the way to the back. Play a copy of each advanced unit from your deck. Right, so let's do boost them.
Salt of the earth they are, your grace. They'd follow you into fire. You need simply say the word.
Meve's ability allows her to boost units in strength. She can use it ability once every few turns. So it seems like the leaders have abilities, not just Meve. Hopefully. But obviously this is as its first battle, the first leader will not have a ability.
The chase is on!
Stray cavalry. Right, so I'm guessing I'll play him there.
One bolt.
Look out! Seek cover! We are bombarded!
Also, what's their ability? Your opponent's cards also have abilities, sure to read the description carefully and adapt your strategy. So what's their ability? Move one unit to the row opposite this unit and damage it by 1. It also seems like they can hit your unit and it'll send them back. Whenever an enemy takes damage, boost self by 1.
A lesson in humility coming now. The strays took tail and run. Yes! Our victory is assured! Sound the horns! May they sing praises of this triumph for ages!
Battle's not yet done. It is better to conserve... Battle formation! Protect the Queen!
We play him.
How, but these damn boots are killing me.
We can't use her ability because it has a cooldown of 3 more turns.
Thing about slings, they hide well. Give me a time. Our ballista, your command.
Get rid of the armor on both of them. Use your leader ability now. Oh. So that must be your leader ability cooldown time.
I congratulate
So
you on your
basically,
latest victory,
from what I
Your
can read
Grace.
is that
The bandits
whenever
stood
you
not a
win and this
chance.
crown fills up both ends, you've won the battle completely.
Matters seem indeed to have gotten out of hand, to put it mildly.
Meve said, arms crossed atop her shining breastplate.
They've grown bold. Doubtless after the raid on the manor, the tax collectors. I've not heard of an ambush on the high road afore.
Caldwell explained, avoiding his liege's wrathful gaze.
Enough, Caldwell. We must put things right. Come!
The Queen's retinue set out, cavalry in front, infantry and arbalists close behind, and, following in the rear, the bandits, bound in chains.
Oh, I like that. They've not just added in a battle and then it's nothing there. There's actually scenes of a fight. Let's loot their buggering shit so we can get spoils of war.
Ah, I do adore this prospect.
Yes. Lyria, the Pearl of the North. With its hills
That is
and
beautifully
dales.
drawn in design,
Why,
though.
Its beauty matched only by that of its queen.
After 3 weeks in the saddle, I've my doubts, Count. We shall pitch camp here. Our soldiers need respite. A spell of it they deserve.
Camp buildings allow you to extend your army and give you access to more important information. Most camps buildings can be improved in your workshop. These improvements will give you access to strong units, thus easing your journey down the line. Here you can build and improve your camp. To improve your, yeah, so you have to spend resources to improve your camp. The better more stuff you spend on your camp, the different abilities you'll get with it for each building. Thanks to improving, you now have access to the region map, which you can open in the main menu screen. The workshop itself can be improved with sequences improving. You'll gain access. Sorry about that. There. Gain access to stronger units. Go to command tent. Go to the command tent to your army. These are the units we've got here. I'm guessing these are the units that are going to become available. To improve the buildings will increase your recruit cap, so that will get bigger, allowing you to use stronger units. The cards currently in your deck are displayed. All cards available for you can be placed in your deck. You can train and access cards by upgrading the training grounds in the workshop as well through certain story and related tasks. Grayed out cards are available but have not yet been created. You must create them before, so like the lab system. Your deck must contain a minimum of 25 cards while not exceeding your army recruit cap. Currently your recruit cap sits at 125. So I'm guessing that's your recruit cap. So that's sort of like, this is your army's provisions. You have enough to recruit 125 men, and that is it at the moment, and that's how many cards you have. And the minimum has to be 25. So how many cards don't you got? I think it was 30 you can go up to before in the actual game. You receive additional resources to craft a Wagenberg. Sounds like something you'd find in fucking KFC. Where's me Wagenberg? Oh, Wagenberg. Let's craft a Wagenberg. Add the Wagenberg to your deck. So what's Wagenberg? It's a machine field support. Order damage all units on a row by this unit. Armor amount then loses all armor. Gain 1 armor whenever a card appears on this row. You can now take a look at other camp options. Right, so what's this? Royal tent. What's in the royal tent? The royal tent screen can be accessed through the main game screen by pressing the knapsack icon. Oh, so this is like letters from what's happening through the game and reports from soldiers under attack. Mess tents. This is like where I'm guessing this is where all your companions go. I have a high feeling the Grey Rider, that can be one of two people. It can either be Geralt of Rivia, which as you know is a Witcher, or if you've ever played any of the DLCs, it could be the storyteller who Geralt of Rivia meets in a tavern and they go through an adventure together. And then you go, in the last one it took him to, oh, I can't remember what the kingdom was, but he had to go and fight vampires, put it that way. Right, let's talk to Reynard, Mr. Game of Thrones.
A bit of respite, Reynard?
Yes. But if you've any new orders, Your Grace, I can be ready at any...
At ease, Reynard. At ease. Don't you find it wearisome sitting alone? Wouldn't you prefer another's company? Swapping tales with the innkeep, even?
Your concern, I most appreciate, Your Grace. But I prefer silence.
Has it always been thus with you? Ever a man apart?
Quite the contrary, Your Grace. As a youth, I gloried in company, delighted in conversation.
So what was it that changed you?
That delight nearly cost me my head. But do you truly not know the tale, milady? How I came to be your departed husband's aide?
I don't, but would gladly hear it.
I had but 20 winters behind me when I enlisted. Yet I was granted the rank of lieutenant from the start, not by merit, but by birth. The respect of veteran officers, both my peers and seniors, that they could not grant. Nor did I deserve it.
So what you say is basically he was highborn, and because of that, like in the British Army of old, depending on your wealth status is what you gain as a rank in the army.
To earn that respect became my driving aim. And to seem wise beyond my years, I began spouting off about the king's decisions. This maneuver Reginald botched, that he failed to think through, and yet elsewhere he'd blundered like a schoolboy.
Talk of that nature could only ever result in misfortune.
It was not long before I was clanking about in shackles. Another officer had reported me. I was charged with lèse-majesté. The court-martial took but a quarter of an hour to deliver verdict and sentence. I was guilty of treason, and the noose awaited me. But Reginald first stayed the execution, then ordered that I repeat every word I'd uttered about his person or deeds. Soaked with sweat, my voice cracking, I did as he... Reginald listened, raptly and silently. And when I'd finished, he declared I was right. He then appointed me his personal aide. A clever lad like you, I can always use at my side.
Indeed. Though hardly sharp himself, wisdom in others Reginald both recognized and heeded.
It was then I swore two things. Firstly, never again to wag my tongue like a fool. Secondly, never to betray his trust.
And you never did. Know what he told me moments before he passed? Trust none of them, Meve. Save Reynard. I thank you for sharing that tale, Reynard. Truly.
Right, let's not sit here too long.
Alas, I've come to fear villain might simply not...
A harsh judgment, Your Grace. Let's not be hasty. The prince is but 16 summers to him.
And is thus fully grown. The crown he should be able to bear at his age. Yet I left the land in his care for but a few months, and look what's become of it. Bandits roam and loot unchecked.
We might yet learn of mitigating circumstances. Events beyond his control.
Would that it were so, Reynard. Would that it were so. Elsewise we must hope Ansaeus will demonstrate more wit than his brother.
So there must be two people that... She must have two kids, two brothers. 2 kids that are brothers.
It's time I attended to other matters.
I'll come back and look at that another time. So remember to open your... The primary task is to mark with exclamation points to see what's important. So down there is the main quest line. So these are where these must have been lootable areas. I'll have to go back and grab them later. For now, let's continue on. Let's have a quick look at what else we can get. Mess 10. Use scouts to mark. That looks like it would be worthy to have to use scouts to mark through the map. And the rest all require stuff I don't have at the moment. Right, so let's do these scouts. So 50 gold for scouts. Shall we give it a go? Bugger it. So it must just ping a whole big area. I can see this being like more useful because you spend 50 gold, but you probably get more than that back in resources and gold itself.
Is this what I pay taxes for? To be robbed along the high road, and in broad daylight no less? Were it not for mandatory merchant routes and stacking rights, why I'd have gone round, through Sodden. They told me, Lyria's a wild land, lawless, chaotic, a damn disgrace.
I think he's not impressed by being robbed or a shrine.
Gods of mercy! Whatever is this filth?
Necrophages. Drawn here by blood's scent.
For such vile monstrosities to prowl the high roads of my realm. I won't allow it. Attack!
The trophy is a unique type of card, and you can have only one in your deck at a time. The trophy will be automatically appear on the battlefield at the beginning of each match. So I'm guessing that's the trophy, Leonard Barrow.
With the heat positively sweltering.
Your row are now covered in fog, which is one of the several row effects. Oh yeah, so like you can remember there was fog, rain, and then there was clear sun, which cleared everything, which was the leader's ability. Road affected by all cards. On a given row, you can either positive or negative consequences. Later on, you will also gain access to the cards, allowing you to add similar row effects. I never really used them, and again, I didn't really like them.
Raymond, what is this? Some spectre?
Death Wish summons a
can't be sure,
copy
Your
of
Grace.
this unit
It's the
from
first
your
I've seen
deck.
of any such thing.
This is his ability. Destroy the highest enemy, then boost all allies by that unit's power. Ooh. That.
This harvest will be reaping black-clad heads.
These carrion eaters. I know them. Appeared on my estate last
The
spring.
unit in your
enticed by the
graveyard and
corpses of
boosts
those of my sheep that
Self
fell.
by power.
Harmless at
So
first,
basically, if any unit from my graveyard,
Until
it'll
that
eat
is,
it
they
effectively.
fill their guts. Seem to become quite powerful then.
Fortification for it to boost the strength of your unit.
Fearsome they look, true. But they bleed just as we do. Onward! Slay the filth!
I wonder if that counts as a card.
Give me a target.
Ah, so fortunate we routed the beasts before they had a chance to gorge.
Trophy will stay on the battlefield between rounds because it has resilience. So any card with resilience must be able to stay in the battle at the end of each round. I wonder if this will count as a card on the row. Let's give it a try.
Your Grace, yet more come.
They fill their bellies, ma'am. This doesn't bode well. Oh no, not well at all.
Arbalist to your command. Armor wants it.
Push him there, because if he gets it, he must be able to fall back.
Strong as steers.
Shoot a unit in your graveyard
And they
and
show
boost
no
self-fight
fear.
power to the same level as
Frenzied,
cool.
my lady. It's bloodlust. They lose all instinct to survive, feel no pain whatever. I've witnessed this before.
Your Majesty, we must give ground. Fall back. We can't win. Must minimize our losses.
So it's the
My
enemy
queen,
the best to
there is no shame
kick
in
my
sealing the
arse.
field when fortune's turn.
It's about to go, yeah, you might pass the turn and save the strength for the next round. Damage all units on an enemy row by
Victory must be ours now.
damage
shall
all
not
units
retreat.
on an enemy
Arms
row
at the
by
ready.
its unit's
Attack!
armor, by this unit's armor, and then lose all.
Look there. Yet another abomination.
When a card appears on this
That's
row,
stench.
gains one armor. So
My
basically,
assaults.
deploy this first, and
Venom
whatever
assaults.
it does is better. It improves the armor. Successfully command your army, you should understand the synergies that exist between your cards. To get this way started, play on the Wagenberg's melee. So we've got Rainer though that gives one charge to all units with. And so basically, if I play him, he'll recharge all the orders.
Company! Forward march!
Yeah, so we can recharge their charge ability, or their abilities.
One bullet's all I need.
The beasts hadn't a chance against us. Victory is ours.
How far till we do actually get to the village? It's not too far to fair, so we'll do the village and then we'll call that the end of the video. Let's scout the area.
Many trees we've felled, my lady. Might you have need of them? So, take whatever your heart desires.
I think that's all of them. Oh, there's another one here apparently. So that's like fast travel, I can see. Let's just quickly scout, see what's available in the area. Quite a lot available in the village.
Lady, the masks they wear. Have you seen them? They've fangs, snouts, horns. Like a right proper nightmare. Your Majesty, I beg of you, thrash them bandits, please. Scared to step out into me own fields, I am. To raise an hand against the Queen. These hounds old no. Thank you for listening to this tired bag of bones. Folk haven't lent an ear to old Poppy in a long while.
It seems like you can get rewards just for listening to people as well. Right, let's go with these recruits.
Soon, Queen and retinue arrived at Hawksburn. The men stationed there they found standing at attention, baking under the blistering noonday sun.
Your Majesty, Count Caldwell.
Stand at ease, Sergeant. And report.
The local peasants we've rounded up in the yard, Your Grace. Expect they might have lent the bandits aid. Yet our courtesy hadn't inspired them. They haven't peeked a word. Might it please Your Grace to summon the hangman? He ties a noose for them, should have them jabbering right quick.
I'll speak to them first.
Your Majesty, for the Queen to question commoners, why, it's simply not proper.
She's the Queen.
Whom for?
She does what she wants.
I shan't be stripped of crown and titles for it, so no impediment do I see. Lead me to them.
Bow low for your sovereign, Her Majesty, Queen Meve of Lyria and Rivia.
Ha' mercy, your grace. We bear no guilt, we simple folk.
Calm your hearts, good folk. Though your queen I may be, you are subjects, not slaves.
Meve extended a hand, the royal ring gleaming upon it. Unfamiliar with protocol, a pleb gripped it firmly and gave it a shake as hearty as a good scrub in the tub.
My, we shall be addressing one another by name afore long.
This is an outrage! Guards! Grab him!
I've all in hand, Caldwell.
Forgive me, Your Grace. I'm not accustomed, nohow.
Nonsense. You've a firm grip, a spry handshake, and a bold spirit I can respect. What do they call you, man?
Helmer, son of Florence.
Delighted, Helmer. Now understand me, man. I am in dire straits and in need of your aid. So please, the bandits, whom do they follow?
Him, my lady. We've seen him. No name, just an odd title. The Duke of Dogs, they call him.
My, a blue-blood thoroughbred mutt. Where are he and his hounds bound?
That recall, Imogen? What do you name? A Gleeton?
Clayton. Lord Clayton. His estate lies to the south.
Sound the horns. Have the men form up.
Milady, I'll be no higher for the Duke. He's a good man. Gave us proper brass for the welcome we gave him. Shared what grub he had.
Shut it, louts. The Queen's had her say. Your Grace?
The choices you make will have consequences. Some may be felt immediately, while others may be taken over time. They were bandits. They have, yeah. I do feel like just saying force the men into service, but they were bandits. There's not much they could really do against bandits. We'll just let them be for now.
Leave them be. The harvest draws close. Hard work.
Oh, milady. Thanks be to you, thanks be.
Pray she watches over yours. Should I hear of you sheltering bandits again, of you lying to my officers, I shall return and put torch to every hut, field and orchard. Understood.
She don't take no bull.
Meve set off toward Lord Clayton's estate at a gallop, her mount knocking the peasants aside as it kicked up a cloud of dust. The folk of Hawksburn spoke of the royal visit long after, albeit ever behind closed doors.
Oh, the chest up there. Notice boards are a great source of information about what's in the area. Click on them to cause them to mark areas. So this is sort of like scouting.
What is this, Reynard? Bandits attacking royal tax collectors in broad daylight.
They shall pay dearly, your grace.
They shall indeed. And not only they. Rot has crept into Lyria, Reynard. My kingdom has been poorly kept.
Right then, guys, we'll call this the end of the video. You have been watching Warband LV. Thanks for watching. If you've liked the video, please like and subscribe. And feel free to comment. Obviously, this has been a bit of a longer video. I will do them short.